I guess this president's decided he's only going to appeal to low information voters, people that don't read, because if they read, and there are a lot of great conservative Republicans out there that, like me, like to read.
When someone as rank ignorant as Donald Trump tells you he doesn't understand something, believe him. That's the way I felt by the third week of physics class. I didn't understand anything, and it was a horrible feeling. Imagine feeling that every day of your life. You don't understand anything. That is the very, very sad life of Donald Trump.
He is obviously never going to be president. He is obviously never going to be the Republican nominee for president. And he is obviously never going to be a candidate for president.
There he is, confessing to the constant, merciless pain of not understanding anything. And it's very simple stuff that Donald Trump is confessing he doesn't understand. It's very simple. Imagine what that's like. Someone saying something very clear and concise that makes perfect sense. It still might be possible to disagree with in some way, but no one should have trouble understanding that.
Donald Trump is going to announce tomorrow that he is thinking about running for president. Stop the hammering. Stop the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer? Where is it?
It's astonishing that a news network, which is second to Fox,
they're not a news network.
They're propaganda.
Stu, Pew Research did a study of MSNBC. They are 85% opinion with a smattering of news. They're not a news network. Frankly, it's a failure as a business. That's why they've failed. That's why their viewership is basically gone, with over 90 million households potential access. Look at them for what they are, and they have failed. And Lawrence O'Donnell's one of the reasons why.
All right, Tucker, thank you. Welcome to Hannity. Buckle up. Tonight, we have several big breaking news stories, including a disturbing new development from the FISA court. This is going to make your blood boil tonight. Plus,
the FISA court has selected someone to oversee all the reforms. His name is David Kris. He's a former Obama lawyer and a left-wing blogger. What do you know about him, and what's your reaction?
Who appears on the Rachel Maddow Show.
Yeah, this is the equivalent of selecting like Adam Schiff to be the head of the RNC. I mean, this is a joke. There's only one. There's no option B or C here, folks. Let me be crystal clear. The selection of David Kris to do this is either a stick in the eye to everybody out there who knows this is the Spygate's the biggest political scandal of our time, or it's a bigger stick in the eye. There's no option B here.
Who selected
Just a
him,
couple
Dan?
of things.
I don't understand. I don't get it. Who did this?
I'm not sure what the calculus and who exactly made the final call on this, but there's no doubt this was a slap in the face. Get a load of this one. Remember the Nunes memo that has now been vindicated by Congressman Devin Nunes, who wrote this memo, a year and a half, 2 years ago, that has now been entirely vindicated by the IG. He slammed the Nunes memo, and in a blog post that's still up, you can all read it, he actually suggested Nunes, I'm not kidding, folks, Nunes could be prosecuted for obstruction of justice. This is like a comedy act. This is like the new Dave Chappelle series.
The president tweeted about it.
We're going to show some of the headlines that David Kris wrote about you and about the Nunes memo, which, of course, as we know, was 100% true when you first came out with that Nunes memo, which was exposing the wrongdoing and the attempted coup to take down then candidate Trump and then President Trump.
Well, look, I don't know this gentleman. I remember at the time there were conspiracy theorists out there who were saying that they were accusing me essentially of committing crimes, when in fact it was the FBI and the dirty cops and the Clinton people that were engaged in this conspiracy to try to take out the President of the United States. So the fact that of all the people in the swamp, I mean, granted the swamp isn't very big, but there are several million people that live in this area. This is the guy that you come up with, the guy that was accusing me of federal crimes, the guy that was defending the dirty cops at the FBI. I mean, look, that's why I said this last night in a tweet. The court must be trying to abolish itself because there is long-term damage. I mean, this is just another misstep. Remember, the judge from last year that now that was in charge of all these FISAs, she claimed at the end of the year, which was great, oh my God, there was a problem here, we need the FBI to do something. Well, that in and of itself was essentially a lie, or very close to a lie, because she knew from the House Republicans that there was a fraud on the court. They had more information and evidence than we did. And so now you have a new judge that's been put in place, and he picks one of the guys that was essentially covering up for the dirty cops. You can't make it up. I guess we're just going to have to abolish this whole FISA system at this point and try to build something new. I don't think the American people and Republicans in Congress, if this continues, you're going to have a continued concern amongst Republicans, conservatives, that there's really something wrong with the FBI. And I don't think that there is. I think they're doing a really good job on a number of fronts.
Which is why this program has been calling for accountability in the face of all of this. Congressman, I know you'll get it. Thank you so much.
On Friday, the FISA court made an outrageous decision. Guess what? They tapped former Obama administration official, a guy by the name of David Kris, who defended the Carter Page surveillance. In other words, premeditated lying to a FISA court for the purpose to spy on not only Carter Page and deny him his constitutional rights and civil liberties, but also spy on a presidential candidate, transition team, and president to assist with reforming. They hired this guy, the FBI's FISA process. But breaking tonight, GOP Congressman Mark Meadows, he's now told Sarah Carter, Fox News investigative reporter, that lawmakers will appeal to the FISA court to remove the former Obama official from the FBI's review. Here now to explain it is investigative reporter Sarah Carter. All right, so this is the guy, just to remind everybody, Sarah, David Kris, you know, he was the one in this particular case who openly was criticizing the Republicans, like Devin Nunes, who will join us, and defended the FBI Bureau's premeditated fraud on the FISA court. Why would this person even be here?
Well, this is the question that everyone's asking, Sean. I mean, this is what's stunning about this. David Kris was appointed by the new FISA court judge, James Boasberg, to basically lead this oversight of the Bureau. He's the same man, as you said, that both defended the FBI's surveillance of Carter Page and then went directly after Congressman Devin Nunes' incredible report, which, by the way, was verified and validated by Inspector General Michael Horowitz of the FBI's malfeasance. He still defended the FBI. He played down Horowitz's report just recently, and he's continuing to write for stuff like Lawfare blog, different blogospheres, as well as his Twitter account, going after both Devin Nunes. In fact, he accused Devin Nunes in March of 2018 of obstructing justice and said he should be charged. What's fascinating right now is that people are asking the very question that you asked, why was he appointed? Well, I can tell you this, that senior Republican lawmakers, led by Mark Meadows, are going to send a letter to the judge, to Judge Boasberg, demanding that Kris be removed from this oversight. And they've actually threatened that come March, when there's the reauthorization for the FISA, that they might not reauthorize it at all regarding the FISA court. So this is a very serious situation. It can change at the drop of a hat. So it looks like Dave Kris is in for a fight. It looks like the Republicans are pushing back. And come March, FISA might not be reauthorized.
And there also is concern that Page's application may not have been the only one altered by FBI officials seeking warrants to spy on Americans. Is that true?
That's absolutely true. And Rosemary Collyer actually pointed that out in her letter in December, Sean. She's very concerned. Remember, she was the former head of the FISC court, of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. And she suggested that this wasn't the only one. And this is something that we need to look at seriously, Sean, because there are a number of people saying we need to review all of these FISA applications. And I know that Horowitz is now in charge of that, so that's something that he's going to be doing. But remember, that reauthorization comes back up in March, and if nothing changes, and if the FISA is reauthorized, then we may never get those changes. And that's what a lot of people are concerned about.
I am your voice.